don't know why it's staying alive still on that one. It's confusing. A quick sound test. Oh, there's a bit of delay on the stream. Try and fix that. That's a bit too much of a delay. Won't be trying to fix that because that's a bit. Fix that just as well. Next time I stream. But hey, hello everyone. Well, we are live. Just discussing the tropics basically. So if you've got any questions, do you send them in? Quickly from. Alright, so we'll wait for some more people to get involved and then we'll start discussing. Oh, so we are looking at the 5 big graphical outlook right now of from the NHC. We are monitoring a few areas at this moment in time. 2 with high chance of development, and there's another 2 of low chance of development over the next 5 days. This is currently Invest 93L, not much ready with it at this moment in time. The conversion has significantly dropped off since a couple of hours ago. We've only got like deep block of convection now starting to fire in this general area, so we'll see how this evolves in the next couple of days. It just still does have some time to develop, become become a central depression or storm. So I mean, we are monitoring this current system as well, and we're also monitoring Invest 94L as well. Not looking too bad now in the Gulf of in the Bacon PG, sorry. Decompression fire associated with it. We'll see in the next couple of days, see if it can build a robust low level circulation and see if it can get defined enough to go on to develop out in this region. The current thinking is right now is that this system is going to be trying to make its way just to up towards the northern Gulf states, so we'll have to see what's happening. But even some heavy rainfall, well, I won't say heavy rainfall, but some rain bands making the way into western Florida, so they're getting some rainfall. Currently, Central America is also getting had um, some rainfall over the past 24 hours as well, so there's a lot going on at this moment of time, so we'll have to see how the system evolves. But on this northern side, you can definitely see these low level cloud features moving in from uh, east turning into south, suggesting that there is some low level circulation trying to get going in this area. There is probably some westerlies on the south side, but not very well defined yet, so probably still just an open wave at this moment of time, and that's what we have expected only since it's only just emerged into the Bacon PG. Over the next couple of days, it's going to have like a semi-favorable environment in this general area to go on to develop and try to become maybe our first or second named storm of the season. So a lot's going on right now in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll also be taking a look at the other two areas in the North Atlantic as well. The lower chances of development, and we'll take a look at that once people get if more people join the stream. So we'll wait until people start to join before we start getting into the details of many other weather in depth. So I'm currently just waiting for that to happen, and then we can start talking about all the active systems. Cool to see. It's cool to see. It's just like no thunderstorms and there's a blow convection on this little area. Love watching that on satellite imagery. Watching storms just blow up on satellite imagery. It's quite cool to see. Eh? Oh, new maps. Just got updated. Thanks for my marks. I just I did not get this. Don't know. We live discussing. A new graphical outlook from the NHC again dropped chances for the system Invest 93 to become a depressional storm, a moderate chance. We see this is 50-50 shot over the next 2 to 5 days. Even a 40, and then the second wave that's going to be emerging off the coast of Africa. 0 to 40 shot over the next 2 to 5 days. Probably just the 0% is just still over land, and the 40% is a bit higher as it will be moving over the main development region. And we also have a new area above 35 degrees north where this could become maybe a subtropical storm. So we'll have a look at that on the models as well. I think really has changed with this current wave. I think the thinking is this wave will be coming, not a wave, this will be coming from an upper level low that is going to be sitting down this area and move to the north and try to build a low level circulation at the ground and then go on to develop maybe in this area. This moment of time, the wind shear doesn't seem to be too bad, but it will be there and impinging that kind of future development. So we currently do have 5 areas to watch. Could all these 5 become a named system? I have to wait and see. But chances for 93L are kind of fading. Interesting to see there has been a bit more dip down south with the area of interest with 93. Uh, Not much change in the general area with the wave coming off the coast of Africa every next 12 hours, 12 to 24 hours, I do believe. Or plus, actually, but I haven't really checked that wave. I've just been keeping an eye on the chances as it only got tagged today, I think. Same with this system and this system, so not gonna call them system and call them area of interest because people get confused otherwise. So it does look like uh, maybe what does have a chance to develop then into a subtropical system for the next 5 days. So maybe this upper level kind of low disturbance sitting just to the south of Spain could try and maybe develop if that's what the NHC is actually tagging. It could be the fact that they think maybe this system maybe could try to build a low level circulation to the ground. We'll have to see what happens there. Not much really showing up on the DFS run. It does try to be a bit more organized and consolidated, and then eventually moves inland. So we'll have to monitor that carefully in the next couple of days. Interested to see there has been a greater shift further to the east with Invest 94L. We'll have a look at the spaghetti models as well to see if that has also changed. Also seems to be that this ridge, this high pressure is currently a bit weaker on this run, probably due to the fact some more troughiness coming down from the United States, but there is a jet stream interaction happening in the Western Pacific with the typhoon, and this is going to create pretty much a big blocking area of high pressure in this general area. So pretty much most of the systems are going to get pushed in this general um, range, so in this general kind of range. So it means more US likely impacts to occur if that jet stream interaction does occur. So there's a lot to really focus on over the next coming days and weeks as we are in the heart of the hurricane season, and this is kind of the normal of the heart of the hurricane season. We have multiple areas to watch and multiple areas we are going to be watching over the next several days. Let's have a look then on the GEFS ensemble members. Sorry. Most of the models, again, are staying Texas area, but some of the models, the outliers, are showing something trying to become closer to Louisiana. Could this happen? Well, if that ridge does continue to trend a bit weaker, the system could move to the east a bit more. Let me just and we'll take a look at Invest 93L then. Oh, 94, sorry. I'm getting confused with all these freaking investigating areas. For some reason, the NHC tagged the one in the main event region is 93 and this is 94. Has been a drastic change. Well, the H12 has came a bit in alignment with the rest of the Hurricane Suite models, but the UK XI models bringing it into Mexico, COE into Mexico, H1 into Mexico, but most of the other models are keeping it to the east and bringing it towards Texas. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Could it sneak again further towards Louisiana? It wouldn't take much for this ridge to be a bit more weaker, and the track could like potentially change, maybe something like this, or maybe I'll draw that a little bit actually. Something maybe something like that. Something that could be a possibility that we'll have to watch out for if that ridge does trend a bit more weaker on the models. At this bit of time, the 18th is only the first one really take it a bit more further to the east. Over the past couple of days, taking a look at the European ensemble members on this particular model run. Probably a bit more in alignment with GFS with maybe a Texas landfall point, and then there's that also the other wave that's emerging off the coast of Africa over the next uh, 2 to 4 days, not 2 to 4 days, but over nearly 2 days away. If we get back, when does it actually emerge? Yeah, by 2.5 days, it's starting to emerge, and it does start to quickly become a develop and become a tropical storm. Interesting to see that these is keeping further south and westwards at this moment in time, as we see going further time. We see that some of the models do start to turn it to the northeast and miss the northern Antilles Islands, but again, some radiating swells, big waves. But do some of the models do keep it maybe a bit more further west and a bit more southwards. That's suggesting that our high pressure in this region will be a lot more stronger and pushing anything that tries to form in this area to the west and then into the Western Caribbean and eventually up into the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll have to monitor that. We'll have a look at the GFS ensemble members, see what they're thinking. This is the 18Z, so this is just coming in updating still from earlier, but this interesting to see that the GFS does take a bit more time to develop the wave coming off behind 93, and there are some ensemble members maybe bringing it a bit more closer to the Lesser Antilles. So the Lesser Antilles are going to have to monitor this wave, but at this moment in time, it does look like this is going to take a northeast turn out to sea. So some good news there for the Lesser Antilles Islands. We'll take a look at the European main domestic run. So here is the wave emerging off the coast of Africa over the next 2 days. Quickly comes on to develop to a tropical storm, and then carry on moving to the west, and then eventually turning up to the northeast as some weakening of the ridge starts, and then it allows to say that northeast turn. Interesting to note that the European model run, if you watched the video earlier with the 12Z, the 0Z run, it did suggest it's moving into the coast of Mexico, but the this one single run of the European model does keep it east, and then again suggesting that Texas might have will be seeing that landfall point of whatever tries to get going in the northern Gulf. So I have to monitor that over the next couple of days as well. Not much really to actually see at this moment in time. We'll see if it mistakes really else track guidance. Split ready with the models as we head out beyond over the next 5 days. Some want to bring it further south, some of them take it further to the north, suggesting that the system will maybe be a bit stronger. So there's a lot of uncertainty at this moment of time with the long range forecast. That's unusual, as none of these systems are really well developed at this moment of time. We'll take a look at the H-Wolf 93L model run. So right now, you see the H-Wolf does try to actually develop the system over the next over the next day, and try to get this to become to a tropical depression status. As you can see in the 850 millibar height, we do see 38 knots, so that's around 40, maybe it's a weak tropical storm moving through the Cape Verde Islands, and then as the system carries on moving to the west, the HRF does not really do anything with this system as we head out beyond the next 5 days. As we get to the final run of this particular model run of HRF, we see we don't have really anything forming with this current system. We'll take a look at the HRF's idea on 94L. So I had the best initialization, as I do believe it has emerged in this area at this moment in time, so I'll have to check that just before we start, it's just starting to emerge. It has initialized kind of correctly with this system. Over the next couple of days, we see that it jumps between around, but then does start to a bit more quickly develop. What system are we looking at here? I did swear down click on 94, invest 94. Looking at invest 94L here, apparently doesn't actually want to develop anything, and this wants it to move into the Eastern Pacific. Interesting H12 run. Let's check the 12Z run. What did the 12Z run have to say? I am looking at invest 94L. Okay, so invest 94L apparently just on the with the H12 wants to jump into the Eastern Pacific. A bit confusing with that. Let's have a look at the H12 power model, see if we've got anything with 94. Oh no, the H12 power model's in agreement as well. Doesn't want this system to move into the Gulf of Mexico. It's seeing it jump into the Asia Pacific, but still has a pressure of 1009 in near Texas with 40-mile-an-hour winds. That's really confusing, but we'll ignore that and look at the H1 then. That's the H1. It's a bit mean, a bit more realistic at this point in time. So it emerges off the coast, emerges into the American PG, already starts to get more developed using that operation heat content and that well supported sea surface temperatures. With the H1 right now suggesting 50 knots, so modest, maybe a modest tropical storm moving towards the north. We have further time the system does become a bit more stronger and eventually becoming maybe a category 1 hurricane on this particular model run of the H1 and moving into Texas, bringing some hurricane force winds, tropical storm force winds, heavy rainfall, and that's what the agency is concerned about with this system, not its intensity, but at the same time, it's the amount of rainfall that will be coming with this system. So interesting take on the H1's idea of 94L. We can quickly take a look at H1's idea with the Invest 93L and Investigator as well. This system also does try to get the system developed into a tropical storm, but then eventually we can probably due to some dry air and wind shear that probably keep this system at bay for the rest of its life after that and have no land threat at all. So interesting kind of H1 run. The GFS really don't want to do anything with this system either. Maybe try to develop it into a depression or storm. Interesting to see that not much really happening on the main GFS run in the main event region either. So again, really interesting GFS run, suggesting really a quiet period of activity. Maybe something trying to get going in the subtropics maybe, but this seems a bit confusing. The reason that there's a big pressure of high pressure, this is due to the fact that jet stream interaction I was talking about, big blocking Canadian high, and that means more impact for United States, and this will be in New England, so New York, Massachusetts, Kentucky, I believe as well. So again, there's lots to talk about, and as the hurricane season is in full swing right now, so. Uh, Yeah, so the NRC does think this could become maybe bring some subtropical characteristics and maybe become a subtropical storm. Um, this could happen. It's a low chance at this moment of time, but we could see some more chances of it go up if the models do support. Maybe get tagged maybe by over the next couple of days so we can start running some computer model runs. But we'll have to rely on the European model run and the GFS, the ICON, the CMC, and we'll have to monitor that area for the far North Atlantic. The NHC is also talking ahead, saying that the wave that is expected to move to the west coast of Africa in the next few days, gradually developing of the system possible. Thereafter, a tropical depression could form in the middle of next week, while it moves westward and across the eastern tropical Atlantic Ocean. That is really worded weirdly. But low chances again, but medium chances over the next 5 days. I do think this will be coming up over the next couple of days as the model run, especially the European model run, has been really bullish with this system. But we'll have to wait and see what it looks like once it emerges off the coast of um, Africa. So if you're looking at the area that's located to develop, try to develop near the Bahamas. It's resulting from a moisture from a tropical wave that's interacting with an upper level low trough. Gradual development is possible thereafter. Thereafter, as it moves northwestwards across the western Atlantic. So, some tropical moisture interacting with an upper level low. It tries to build a lower circulation down to the ground, and then therefore we start to see some tropical characteristics take place. So the NHC is they have got some confidence maybe in most all of these systems trying to get going. Um, Maybe dropping chances of it in this 93L as time is running out, and most of the models really aren't showing this becoming a storm, maybe a depression. But again, the European non-storm members again aren't even that bullish with this system. If I take you back in time, you see not many models are even showing up now, suggesting this will be even a storm or depression. So we'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of days, but after the next couple of days, it will be moving in, well, not in this general area, but in this general region and having no land impact at all. I can look at Invest 94L again. The sunset is now occurring, so we'll see what it can do overnight and into the morning hours, especially with diurnal maximum occurring over in the next 10 to 12 hours. We could definitely see the system try to become a bit more robust in this area and try to develop a low level circulation, close that off, and then therefore go to develop in northern as it heads towards the north in northern Gulf states. Again, Invest 93L is looking quite barren at the moment. Not much conversion firing, mainly just some on the northern side, not much on the south side, east side, or the west side really. So very unhealthy tropical wave at this moment in time. Did look quite well a couple of hours ago, but there has some dry in the mid level, in the high. Well, I wouldn't say the mid levels, the high levels in the atmosphere, probably mixed down to the surface and really it choked off any convection trying to develop. There has been a recent burst of convection down further to the south, and this could try to sustain itself over the next couple of hours. We'll have to see what the next couple of hours bring with this particular wave. But the Cape Verde Islands do need to. Is it the Cape Verde Islands? I don't know, but I don't want to be getting a bit taking have meaning no offense to people, but I just know it's the Cape Verdes, but is it the Cape Verde Islands? Please do let me know. But again, just getting some rain impacts and some maybe gusty winds involved in those winds. There is also a wave expected to try to develop in the eastern Pacific. This could cause some wind shear in the western Atlantic, but if we take a look at the closer western Atlantic view and take a look at the 200 millibar wind, we see that at the current time that this um this wave and invest area is producing maybe some of its own outflow interacting with that anticyclone. But over those couple of days, we see that that does really not have an issue for the system as it gets placed underneath this upper level anticyclone, and has good outflow aloft, meaning the system can breathe and take more inflow at the surface and more outflow at top aloft, and this allows the system to breathe and develop and intensify um, more steadily. So we'll have to monitor that as the upper level environment does look fairly fairly favourable for this system to go on to develop and intensify, potentially right up until landfall um, in the northern Gulf. But a quick point to make out is on the GFS and running on the relative humidity, we do see that there's a lot of dry air in place to the north. And actually, I do want just to quick remarks I just said a couple of seconds ago. There will be some wind shear actually in protein um, from the east, so there could be some easterly wind shear pushing the cloud tops off the system and producing some maybe heavy rainfall for a large area of some of the northern Gulf states and some of the values over the next couple of days. We do see that from we'll actually take the 24-hour one. We see over the next couple of days here is our potential just storm or depression. There's a lot of rainfall associated with it, so definitely could see some rain. Don't take this as pitch perfect, but take it with some grain of salt. But we could see some large rain impacts for a large area, so maybe some of the northern Gulf states as we go out even further. This is 24-hour precipitation. See that the heaviest rainfall that's meant to have on this particular model run is in Louisiana, but don't take this again as as what is set in stone, as we don't really get good predictions until we're closer to the landfall point, and then we get a better idea. But again, there is a suggestion to see something in this general area, and that'll take us back to actually our sort of accumulated. So you can see definitely along the Texas and Louisiana, where we can see up to 6 inches above, and definitely in some localized spots you can see some more heavier rainfall. So there's a lot to be concerned about with this system if it goes on to try and develop. But again, the main issue with this system will be the rainfall associated with it, and as we go extend beyond the next couple of days to see that as that tropical wave does move through, there's some more rainfall expected in this area. So the main threat at the time with this system is the rainfall. It's better than any kind of system, but this system will be having a lot of rain impacts at the time. It looks like by on the GFS 850 millibar cyclone velocity, we do get maybe a depression or storm over the next 48 hours, and then eventually goes on to develop even more. Does start to weaken due to that wind shear and dry air entrainment, but we could see maybe a high-end tropical storm approaching a landfall. Probably peak if it has a favorable environment and can do well in that upper level environment. We could see it peak at a hurricane intensity, and that go on to weaken due to that dry air and wind shear that will be coming in from the east and pushing our cloud tops, and subsequently pushing some of the more heavier rainfall and extended away from the system as well. We'll have to see how strong that easterly wind shear is. If it's a bit weaker, the system will have to survive a bit longer and be a bit more stronger at landfall. But at this bit of time, the GFS is suggesting of some weakening prior to landfall, and as that wind shear and dry air does take effect on the system. Any question, guys, please do just ask, and I'll try my best to answer them. Right, we have been live for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up now, and do look out for my videos tomorrow, and please do stay safe. If you are in hurricane or any kind of side topic kind of impact zone, please do stay safe, and I'll all see you tomorrow. Peace out, homies.